Let's talk politics now, and I'm sure this will interest you. Developments in Osun State. We have seen many of the aspirants take a turn after Mr. President's intervention. He met with all Osun governorship aspirants, and there were, conversations around consensus. But is this consensus truly voluntary, or is the president deciding who becomes the flag bearer?
No, I think it's very voluntary. I mean, if you really take a look at the profile of all of the aspirants involved in Osun, there's none of them that is a pushover. There's none of them that is not eminently accomplished and qualified to vie for that office. So, to suggest that it was completely voluntary because, again, you must grant the benefit of the doubt to those who come to tell you we have agreed to, a certain principle. Don't forget that these are also party men and women who subscribe to the, values, the ideals of APC. And, as we say in political parlance, the party is supreme. So when the party gets together and brings, these leaders together, and each of them agrees to a position, you can't suggest they were, either cajoled or, intimidated by any authority, because these are men and women who, I think have earned their place in society, well accomplished in their various endeavors, and so are able to hold their ground. If they choose to say no, they will hold their ground. They have all the resources to do so. So I think, from our perspective, I'm very privy to some of those conversations, and I know that ultimately, when the party has made a decision, and especially when they are involved, their interests are involved, and they say, yes, we agree, you must take that to be what it is, completely voluntary. That is what it is in the case of Osun.
I understand the party's decision. In fact, I've heard some colleagues say that since 2017, that has been the party's arrangement, where Osun election is concerned. But the worrisome dimension is the way and manner they were disqualified, especially the narrative of these aspirants who said that the basis of disqualifying them wasn't meritorious. The APC, as you are aware, lost Osun in the last election due to internal division. Has the party genuinely resolved those fractures, or is this consensus push simply a bandage over deeper wounds?
No, it does not. What you're witnessing is very organic. And let me correct one impression. You suggested that the party had disqualified them. Actually, that's not, entirely correct. It's actually maybe even a very hasty conclusion. The party, the National Working Committee of the party, has authority to set up committees to oversee the conduct of, its various processes, including primaries or screening and all of that. Now, when those committees conclude their work, they are required to submit their report to the National Working Committee, which is the only authorized body of the party to make decisions with respect to the outcomes of those processes. In this case, what you reference as disqualification was, perhaps at best, recommendations made by a committee of the party, but which had not been subjected to review or approval by the National Working Committee. So, until the NWC of our party reviews and approves or certifies a decision of a committee like that, it is not the decision of the party. So I think, technically speaking, it's actually not correct to say that the party had disqualified them and now they're doing consensus. So, whatever may have transpired at the committee level, which the NWC has not, made a decision about.
Okay. So I think, are you saying that the NWC actually doesn't agree with the position of the screening committee?
I'm not saying that either. I'm only saying that the NWC has not reviewed that decision and made any kind of confirmation of whatever any of the committees may have submitted.
Yes, because some aspirants had argued before now that consensus undermines internal democracy. In fact, they have listed out that about 9 of them are competing, and that it is important for the APC to prioritize party unity over fairness in its primaries. Former National Secretary of the party, Yola Omishore, was on our channel last night. He was absent at that meeting with Mr. President, but he did say that he will support Mr. President's decision. What does his absence signal about internal alignment and loyalty within the Osun APC?
Now, first of all, let me say that what we're discussing was really at a very elementary level of review by the the committee. But that decision, as I said, has not been adopted or rejected or discussed or approved by the National Working Committee of our party. Look, His Excellency Tinubu is somebody that we have a lot of respect for, and someone who has been in the system and understands how the system works. So, but with your reference to his statements, saying that whatever the outcome of that meeting may be, he's willing to abide by. I think that suggests to you that a man of his caliber, again, is not intimidatable. It's not somebody who can be arm twisted in that fashion. So his acquiescence to the meeting, even when he was absent, I think shows you that he is not just a loyal party man. He's very understanding of the party protocols, and I'm sure that he won't do anything to undermine the effectiveness of what may be a consensus approach. And let me add quickly that consensus model does not undermine anything about the party. It does not undermine the unity of the party or internal democracy of the party. The reason being that our constitution recognizes the consensus model as a model, just like it recognizes the direct primaries or the indirect primaries. The Electoral Act also recognizes the consensus model, just like it does recognize the direct or indirect primary model. So it's not, if the Electoral Act, in fact, does mandate that political parties may produce candidates via consensus model, then this is not an invention of the APC. It is a statutory facility that a party can use to select its candidates. So APC using it is not, we're not creating any device. We are simply doing what the law provides for anyways.
Your